If you've ever loved someone with your whole soul and still ended up staring at a broken promise like it was a crime scene, listen closely. Because cheating is never your fault, it's a choice someone makes. But astrology does reveal something painfully useful. Certain signs carry a love style that attracts partners who test limits, feed on softness, or hide behind charm. Not because these signs are weak, but because they're rare. And rare energy gets hunted by people who don't deserve it. Here's the secret most people don't say out loud. Betrayal usually enters through the same door you call hope. Hope that they'll change. Hope that this time they'll be honest. Hope that if you love harder, they'll love cleaner. These 6 signs often get cheated on for one of 3 reasons. They give trust too quickly and treat red flags like misunderstandings. They avoid conflict, so problems rot in silence and strangers feel like fresh air. They love with loyalty, and loyalty, in the wrong hands, becomes a permission slip. 1 Libra, I keep the peace, even when I'm bleeding. Libra, you don't just love, you harmonize. You can read a room like a heartbeat. You notice tone shifts, eye contact, the pause before a lie. And yet, you're the sign most likely to talk yourself out of your own instincts because you want the story to have a beautiful ending. Why Libras get cheated on more often? Because you often choose peace over clarity. You hate ugly conversations. You try to be fair. You give second chances because you can imagine a version of them that behaves better. And sometimes you unconsciously teach your partner this dangerous lesson. If I look charming enough and apologize sweetly enough, Libra will forgive. Here's the shadow pattern. Libra can stay in relationships where love becomes performance, smiling in public, hurting in private. And if a partner feels criticized, bored, or insecure, they might chase validation elsewhere instead of doing the grown-up work with you. Libra's most common betrayal trigger: you sense distance, but you don't confront it directly. You bring it up softly, then accept a half answer. You keep it classy, while your heart is screaming. You're fixed and it's powerful. Stop negotiating with confusion. Libra, your gift is diplomacy, but your protection is decisiveness. Ask direct questions and require direct answers. If they dodge, joke, flip it on you, or call you dramatic, that's not miscommunication, that's a warning label. New Libra rule: if love makes you feel anxious, unseen, or too much, it's not love, it's imbalance. You were born to be adored out loud and respected in silence. 2 Pisces, I fall in love with potential, and it betrays me. Pisces, your heart is an ocean. You don't love people the way others do. You love their wounds, their dreams, their hidden softness. You're the sign that can look at someone messy and still say, I see the good in you. And that is beautiful. Until you hand that gift to someone who uses it like a hiding place. Why Pisces get cheated on more often? Because you can be too spiritually generous. You forgive what others would walk away from. You sense pain in your partner and think, if I love them enough, they'll feel safe and become loyal. But cheaters don't cheat because they aren't loved enough. They cheat because they want easy validation, secret power, or escape. Pisces also tends to avoid harsh reality. You might notice signs: new passwords, odd schedules, emotional distance, and instead of confronting it, you soothe yourself with, they're stressed, I'm overthinking, I don't want to ruin the vibe. That's how betrayal slips in, through silence dressed as peace. Pisces' most common betrayal trigger: you give unconditional love to a person who has conditional character. You confuse chemistry with commitment. You stay loyal while they stay uncertain. You're fixed and it changes everything. Pisces, you don't need to love less, you need to screen better. Love isn't proven by poetry. It's proven by patterns, consistency, transparency, accountability. If someone only shows up when it's convenient, they are not your soulmate, they're your lesson. New Pisces rule: never date someone you have to heal into being faithful. Your intuition is real. If your spirit feels uneasy, believe it the first time. 3 Taurus, I'm loyal, so I assume you are too. Taurus, when you commit, you build. You create safety. You bring steadiness, devotion, and the kind of love that feels like coming home. And ironically, that's exactly why some partners cheat on Taurus, because they get comfortable. Too comfortable. Why Taurus get cheated on more often? Because you're so reliable that an immature partner starts taking you for granted. They assume you won't leave. They assume you'll work through it. They assume your love is permanent, and then they start acting like consequences are optional. Taurus also has a private pain: you don't like uncertainty. So when something feels off, you might hold on to routine, even tighter dinners, plans, normal life, because stability is your oxygen. But cheaters often thrive in the space where nobody asks hard questions. And Taurus sometimes waits too long to ask them, because you want proof before you accuse. Taurus' most common betrayal trigger: you stay loyal in quiet misery instead of demanding change. You tolerate emotional laziness because the relationship looks stable. You mistake longevity for honesty. Your fix, and it's pure Taurus power, make loyalty a privilege, not a guarantee. Stop being the safe place for someone who brings chaos. Your love is fertile ground, don't let someone plant secrets in it. New Taurus rule: if you feel like you're the only one protecting the relationship, you're not in a partnership, you're in a responsibility. For Cancer, I love like family. And some people exploit that. Cancer, you don't date lightly. You attach emotionally and spiritually. When you let someone in, you don't just offer romance, you offer home, comfort, forgiveness, a place to rest. And for the wrong person, that kind of love becomes a luxury they don't respect. Why Cancer gets cheated on more often: because you nurture people into feeling safe, even when they haven't earned it. You make excuses for someone's coldness because you can sense their stress. You absorb moods, forgive the bad days, and keep giving, hoping your care will inspire loyalty. But here's Cancer's painful pattern: you're loyal even when you're lonely inside the relationship. And when a partner feels emotionally immature, they sometimes look for a thrill elsewhere instead of meeting you where you are. Not because you weren't enough, because they didn't want the responsibility of being truly known. Cancer's most common betrayal trigger: you overgive, underask. You fear abandonment, so you tolerate emotional neglect. You sense something is off, but you wait for them to come back to you. Your fix: this is your armor. Cancer, your love is not a rehabilitation center. Stop proving you're safe. Require someone to prove they're worthy. Set boundaries early before attachment makes you excuse what you would never accept if you were thinking clearly. New Cancer rule: if they only treat you right when they're afraid you'll leave, they don't love you, they fear consequences. 5 Virgo, I try to be perfect, and they still betray me. Virgo, you love with effort. You pay attention. You remember details. You solve problems before they become disasters. And you often believe that if you do everything right, love will stay loyal. But cheating doesn't happen because you forgot to text back fast enough, or because you gained 5 pounds, or because you weren't fun last Tuesday. Cheating happens when someone lacks integrity. Still, Virgo gets cheated on more often because your love style can accidentally create a dynamic where a partner feels judged, inadequate, or exposed, especially the ones who are already insecure. Let's say it clearly: you don't mean to criticize, you mean to improve. But some partners hear your helpfulness as pressure, and instead of growing up and communicating, they go looking for someone who makes them feel effortlessly admired. Virgo's most common betrayal trigger: you become the manager of the relationship instead of the loved one. You spot inconsistencies, but you gather evidence instead of demanding honesty. You stay too long because you believe love is something you can fix. Your fix, and its liberation: stop auditioning for commitment. Virgo, you are not a project to perfect. Choose partners who already have emotional responsibility. You can't organize your way into someone's loyalty. New Virgo rule: if you have to micromanage their behavior to feel secure, you're dating a liability, not a partner. 6 Sagittarius, I give freedom, and sometimes they abuse it. This is the one people don't expect. Sagittarius is bold, funny, magnetic, adventurous. Everyone thinks you're the sign that would never tolerate betrayal, and you won't, once you know. But Sag often gets cheated on because you offer something rare: space. You don't suffocate people, you trust. You let your partner have a life, and the wrong partner hears freedom and translates it as, I can do what I want and they won't notice. Sagittarius also tends to avoid controlling behaviors because control feels like a cage. You don't want to be the jealous one. You don't want to interrogate. So if something feels off, you may laugh it off, stay optimistic, or focus on your own world until the truth shows itself. Why Sagittarius gets cheated on more often: because some partners get addicted to your cool, chill energy, but they don't have the maturity to honor it. They test boundaries. They crave chaos. They want attention from everywhere. And they assume you're too independent to care until you walk away and they finally realize what they destroyed. Sagittarius' most common betrayal trigger: you trust quickly because you assume adults behave like adults. You dislike drama, so you ignore subtle disrespect. You let things slide once, and it becomes a pattern. Your fix: this is your truth. Freedom is not the absence of boundaries. It's the presence of trust, and trust has rules. Communicate expectations clearly and early. If they call that controlling, they're telling on themselves. New Sagittarius rule: the right person won't feel trapped by your standards, they'll feel proud to meet them. The real reason these signs get cheated on: the pattern. Here's the thread connecting all 6 signs. Libra gives peace before proof. Pisces gives forgiveness before consistency. Taurus gives loyalty before accountability. Cancer gives nurturing before commitment. Virgo gives effort before reciprocity. Sagittarius gives freedom before boundaries. In other words, they give the best parts of love too early. And when the wrong person receives gold without earning it, they start treating it like sand. The early warning triad: if you see this, pay attention. If your partner shows 2 or more of these, betrayal risk rises fast, secrecy spikes, phone flipping, sudden privacy changes, unexplained schedule gaps. Affection drops: less warmth, less eye contact, less emotional presence. Blame shifts: you're crazy, dramatic, too sensitive for noticing. That third one is the loudest, because many cheaters don't just betray, they try to rewrite reality so you doubt yourself. Your protection spell: yes, really. Say this to yourself when you start romanticizing someone who hasn't earned you. Love without honesty is not love. Love without respect is not love. Love without accountability is not love. I do not chase clarity. I require it, because the moment you stop begging for the truth is the moment you become untouchable.